This is basic English writing, so I'm not sure about your level of proficiency in writing in English, but I just want to let you know that today's topic is about parts of speech, and it's about parts of a basic sentence. Why don't you type where you're from? Me, I'm Jared. I'm from Kuching, Sarawak. So I'll give you about 1 minute to type your name and where you're from. Before every lesson, I like to share a riddle to, get your brain juices pumping. And so I have this riddle today. Mr. and Mrs. Mustard have 6 daughters, and each daughter has one brother. How many people are in the Mustard family? Why don't you put in your best guess in the chat box? I will reveal the answer only at the end of today's lesson. All right, next. I have a few questions I want to ask this class. So why don't you answer the class survey at this website using this code? So we have 2 entries here. English is interesting. This is great. So I get the feeling that at least 2 of you here are positive about English. There's none of you that says that, oh, English is so difficult, English is so boring, blah, 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 blah. Fun, but hard. Yeah, okay. Someone finally said it. So during this 1-hour lesson, do you want me to speak in Bahasa Malaysia, Bahasa English, the English language, or Bahasa Roja? Okay, so I'm going to do pure English. We are going to talk about word classes, parts of speech. In this page here, you will see the parts of speech listed. And I'm not sure if I want to go through each one of them for you, because it seems that your English is pretty good. Go to this link, joinmyquiz.com, and use the code that I'm going to share with you to respond to a quiz. Can somebody write in the group chat what part of speech this is? Yep, these are all nouns. So we have girls, girl, horse, women, woman, girls, girl. And so these are all things, and the nouns identify them. Yesterday, Johnson blanked his car into Zilong. So these are all actions. So these are all verbs. And verbs can take on past tense, present tense, and future tense. But that is not part of speech. That is tense. Marsha likes blank pineapples. Dried and sweet. And that part of speech is adjectives. So this is a word that gives more information about things. Like the pineapples. What are the pineapples like? They're dried. They're sweet. All right. Question 4. During the accident, my cat blank lost her paw. I was going for already and sadly. I remember that was another word over there. And these words are adverbs. They add information to adjectives, to verbs, and also to other adverbs. Blank is how we prepare for the exams. And these are called pronouns. And you have personal pronouns like I, me, he, she, it. So these are all pronouns as well. I went to university. I had to take the STPM exam. So what is in this blank? Before, after, during. I think one of you said when. These are all, so preposition is usually used in front of nouns and pronouns. It's to show the relationship between these parts of the sentences with the other parts. So they're showing relationships. Number 7, Michelle is my mother. She takes care of me every day, blank. I was actually going for so, but and works as well. Because is in the same category, and these are called conjunctions. So the job of conjunctions is to connect ideas. Like the example here, you see two sentences. Michelle is my mother, and she takes care of me every day, being connected by a conjunction. My teacher works hard to teach blank student. Every. So well done, Hazira. All is in the same category, but doesn't exactly work in this situation. You want students if you want to use all. So these are called determiners. So they determine what the noun is. And other determiners are the, and blank, exclamation mark. That is a lizard. So all of these are called exclamations. This is also part of English. And they have a very specific function. They express emotion like surprise, and that's why they're called exclamations. This is the main thing that I want to present to you today. Parts of a simple sentence. So parts of a sentence are different from parts of speech, just slightly different. Let's look at the parts of a simple sentence here. So you have parts of speech has something very different than sentences. So parts of a simple sentence, you have subject, which is the name of a person, place, or thing that you're talking about in that sentence. You have a verb, or in some situations, they're called predicates, which usually follows the subject, this subject here, and identifies the action or the state of being. The object is the thing that receives the action, and it usually follows the verb. And then you have adjective phrases that modify the nouns, prepositional phrases that add meaning to the nouns and verbs and sentences. Okay, these are kind of technical, but I will show you examples later on. Adverb phrases, they modify verbs, adjectives, and other adverbs. So I'll show you some examples below. So simple sentence structure. For those of you who are beginning to write in English, this is the foundational formula of how to write a sentence that everybody must know. Not every sentence has an object, but there's always a subject and a verb. There's always. So remember this formula when you write your sentence, and when you're proofreading, check that you have a subject. That's the thing that's doing the verb. And check that you have a verb, because sometimes people forget. So this is an example here, and I've color-coded it. So the subject, Akai, which is the name of a person, verb, likes, object, bamboo. But this is kind of boring, yeah? You wouldn't want to read an essay with just SVO in every sentence. You want to make things more interesting for the examiner if you're taking PT3 or SPM. You can do the noob level way of making things interesting by adding an adjective in front of the noun. So the adjectives are coded in purple. As you can see in the example, I've used the original sentence from up here, and I've added adjectives to it. So Fat Akai likes green bamboo. The purple words are adjectives. Or you can, if you want to challenge yourself, go up to the expert level and add preposition phrases. Simple preposition phrases like those that are quoted in green. Fat Akai in KL. So this is a preposition phrase. In KL. Where's Akai? That dude is in KL. Likes green bamboo, of mine. So the bamboo comes from me. And these are prepositional phrases, and this is how they work. They come after the noun. If you want to take things to the epic level, add adverbs. Adverbs are the hardest to use. So adverbs you put in front of verbs or adjectives, like those that I've coded in red. Extremely fat Akai. Hardly likes, so likes is the verb, fat is the adjective, so I can put an adverb in front of adjectives as well as in front of verbs. barely green. So green is an adjective, and I can put an adverb in front of it. Bamboo. Now look at number 2 and number 3. Which one would you find more interesting? So Akai likes green bamboo. He hardly likes green bamboo. That means he doesn't really like it very much. So the adverb can actually add another level of meaning to your sentence. Just one word can change the entire meaning of a sentence. At the legend level, you write adverbs for adverbs. So I've coded it in orange, and so you can see extremely fat Akai, somewhat extremely fat. Extremely fat is kind of painful for people to hear, so you can cushion it with somewhat, sort of kind of thing. And being able to do that shows that you have a complex understanding of English and you have really good vocabulary and command of grammar, which is why using adverbs for adverbs is at the legend level, and you can try and aspire for that. So extremely fat Akai hardly even likes. So that means that he doesn't really like it at all. Like what? Almost barely green bamboo. Even with simple sentences like these, you can really get deep and you can really write really interesting, simple sentences. We are going to practice writing simple sentences at the legend level. Now, I don't know your level of English. You know yourself the best. Try to challenge yourself. If you find level 2 challenging for you, do that. If you find level 3 challenging for you, do that. If you look here, I've prepared a worksheet where you put your name up here and you type sentences down here based on the picture from a movie. Somehow, Harry accidentally dropped his gorgeous girlfriend's ring into a dirty drain. So somehow is an adverb that modifies accidentally, which is an adverb. Drop, the verb, adjective, gorgeous, into a dirty drain. That's a prepositional phrase. Yeah, so this is a level 4, as an example of a level 4 sentence here from Hazira. So well done, Hazira. So today we covered parts of speech. We covered parts of a basic sentence and how you can make a basic sentence really interesting as well. And there are 4 levels for that. Let's look back at the riddle that we talked about at the beginning of today's lesson. Mr. and Mrs. Mustard have 6 daughters and each daughter has 1 brother. How many people are in the Mustard family? So the answer is Mr. Mustard, 1, Mrs. Mustard, 2, 6 daughters, 1, 2, 8. So they have the same 1 brother. So there are 9 people in the Mustard family. That's it for today. Thank you so much for being with me. See you in the next class. Please come 5 minutes earlier so we can chit chat and get to know each other better. See ya!